Hey guys, so Lord here, back again with another review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Hasbro Marvel Legends Psychoman Ecstasy from the Fantastic Four Retro Series Wave, which is actually just starting to pop up in stores quite recently, actually. Last month, tail end of last month, these guys started popping up in stores. I actually picked this guy up off BBTS, Big Bad Toy Store. I pre-ordered him there, so you can go get these figures there. You can't find them in the store, which, given how shipping is lately, it would not surprise me if you couldn't find these in the store. But thankfully, they have hit up here where I am at. I actually picked up the High Evolutionary the other day, so that is pretty cool. We'll be taking a look at him tomorrow, most likely. But we're going to start things off with Psychoman because A, he's the first one I got, and B, he's actually a really cool character, figure. I don't know much about this character other than he looks kind of silly, and I actually used to have the old Toy Biz figure because, yes, Toy Biz did make a figure of this guy way back in the olden days of the mid to late 90s in their Fantastic Four line of the time, which is what these guys are loosely based off from. Similar packaging and whatnot. But there was a Psychoman, and he did come with his little emotion box that had a bit of a spin dial thing, and you could change it from fear to hate to, what was it, envy, something else. It's like all the negative emotions. Is there a positive equivalent to this guy? That is something I must know. But at any rate, I no longer have that figure. I think I sent it off to T-Biz. Shout out to T-Biz, who I think probably got rid of it by now. Because that's cool, right? But at any rate, it wasn't that great of a figure anyways. It's kind of whatever, but it's cool in its own right. Probably decent for the time and whatnot, but now we have this one. And I have to say, this may potentially be one of the better Marvel Legends to come out this year, which I know, again, ain't saying much, and I say that all the time in my Legends videos lately, but whew, they're doing a good job with the villains at least, so gotta be thankful for that, right? But as far as accessories go with this guy, he only comes with his emotion box, which I'm just gonna take out of his hand because it's just gonna fall out anyways. You can't really get a good grip on this thing. I might try and heat that hand up and see if I can't warp it to have a better grasp on this, but you can see the different emotions there. Hopefully it's right side up and not upside down, but if it is, first and foremost, let's focus on it. There you go. I'll flip it around in case it was upside down. But there you go. It's a little emotion box. So we can make all the young girls on Instagram feel bad about themselves. But at any rate, no alternate hands. I would have liked another fist hand or another grip hand or a better grip hand for that matter. But, it's Psychoman. He probably doesn't do a lot of action. Imagine he could throw a punch or two, but it seems like the type of character who would get punched in the chest and just knocked right the heck out. But a 100% unique body mold for this guy. Kind of like a spacesuit. I wouldn't say a baggy spacesuit. It doesn't seem very baggy. It seems very kind of compact. But I could be wrong. I've been wrong about baggy clothing in the past before, right? Being corrected by Hartford scholars who don't know their butt from a hole in the ground sometimes. But what do I know? At any rate, though, look at that head sculpt. Now, I always thought his face was orange, but I guess it's supposed to be gold, so whatever. The old Toy Biz figure, I believe, was orange. Orange. Looked more like a jack-o'-lantern. But this one is straight up like Pimp Daddy Gold, so that's cool. Again, 100% unique body mold. I don't know what they could reuse off this guy. Maybe the arms. Definitely not the legs. Definitely not the shoulders or the torso or even the head. Which is almost dark side looking. He's got this weird kind of helmet chin strap thing going on. I will say, I always thought this was his actual face. Apparently it's like a mask. I believe people have been saying that it's more like a mask, so that's interesting. I always thought it was his face. He's just had a weird face. I thought he was some weird alien guy, but I guess he's just some dude in a spacesuit, maybe. Either way. Articulation, he's got quite a bit of tilt there. Not too bad. You can look up and down a little bit. You can rotate side to side. His shoulders go out to the side pretty far. Back down. They rotate all the way around. Nice tight joints there. Bicep swivel. Double joint at the elbow, which gives you really good range. It looks kind of ugly when you use it, though. It's the only thing. It's got some trench warfare going on in there, but it's besides the point. It's to be expected nowadays, I guess. His wrists are on hinges. This is on an in and out hinge, but I think that's probably okay in this case because he comes with a box for an accessory. His diaphragm joint crunches really far forward, not so much back. Crunches back a little bit. And he's got some side to side tilting action, not a ton. It does rotate and click here. So he does get a fair amount of waist swivel out of that. Hips kick out to the side about that far as these little tubers will allow. They will kick back down. They will kick forward and back. Not a ton, but it's to be expected. This guy's costume. Now his thigh cut, you're going to want to bend the knee and then rotate it. It's a little easier that way because these pieces are connected above the thigh cut. Then this ring goes around the knee, so kind of hard to get a grip on that without risking tearing stuff out. So I would advise you bend the knee before you utilize the thigh cut. It does work fine, but works a little better when you do that. And he does have a double knee, but you really can't utilize both halves of it. It's very difficult to get the full range out of that, but you could pretty much get 90 out of that, so it's not too shabby. He doesn't have a boot swivel, which is kind of surprising, but he's got a lot going on here, so I can understand that. But then, of course, he's got the hinge in the foot with the rocker and peg holes at the bottom of the feet. And he's got very rubbery feet, too. So that's Psychoman in a nutshell. Pretty cool. Nifty figure. Nothing too crazy. Not a lot of paint. I would say, if anything, this guy's just lacking some paint, which is kind of the case with all Marvel Legends that have 100% unique tooling. They tend to lack paint, which I guess is understandable to a point. I mean, really, a lot of people would prefer if these retro waves, instead of having the cards, they had bath pieces. But if you're a carded collector, it's super nostalgic and whatnot, and I understand that. But for the money, as much as I like this figure, I think could have had a little bit of paint. Because he's essentially mostly molded plastic, and this stupid thing does not stay in his hand very well at all. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this in there. The thing is, you gotta get it in there, and it really does not fit in here well at all. I guess he's supposed to hold it like a calculator or something, but he just can't. Alright. You know what? I think we're going to have to call this a draw. I cannot get this in there. Yeah, it's just falling out. So his accessory kind of sucks. Can't hold it very well. I think his hand needs to be warped to accommodate that. Something I might try later with the almighty heat duct, but for now, to save a little bit of time and, quite frankly, frustration, I'm going to leave that out. So there he is. Straighten him out a little bit. There. So that being said, let's take a look at some comparisons. First up, here is Psychoman. Ecstasy. Okay, you already got that joke. It's a Talking Heads reference for those of you who aren't into proto-punk / classic rock. But at any rate, here is Psychoman next to a couple other super retro classic Marvel super villains. I believe all of which created by Jack Kirby. I don't know about Dormammu, but I know these two at least were. So we got Ultron from the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure wave, and again, the Dread Dormammu from the Zemnu Build-A-Figure wave. You know what? I don't know if Psychoman's a Jack Kirby creation either, but kind of reminds me of Darkseid a bit. Looks kind of silly. I'm going to say he is. Don't kill me in the comments if he isn't. I don't know any better. But as you can see, Psychoman is the shortest of the three here. So Dormammu is actually taller than somebody. How about that? I'm sorry. I just wish that figure was a little taller. But if that was the case, I'd be using Red Skull instead of Dormammu. So I guess it's kind of good that he isn't, because we get to see more Dormammu. And that is never a bad thing, is it? That said, another thing to note, these are all brand new body sculpts that are 100% pinless. So if you're into that, there you go. And last but certainly not least, we have our two regulars, the Mythic Legion's Brother Mandibulus and the 11th Spawn, who, as usual, towers over everybody. So with that being said, time to wrap things up. Some final thoughts. Overall, and given the fact that I don't know squat about this character other than he looks kind of funny. I mean, let's be real here. I have to say Hasbro did a pretty good job with giving us his first ever Marvel Legends figure. That is right. The only other time we got this guy was in the old Toy Biz line, as I said before, or earlier in this case. And yeah, I gotta say, there's not much else they really could have done to improve this guy other than maybe add a little bit of shading here and there, but, you know, to expect that from Hasbro nowadays is pretty much like throwing crap at the wall and seeing what sticks. It's not gonna happen, okay? It's just not. So, with that being said, if you are a fan of Fantastic Four's Rogues Gallery, or just want another super retro classic looking villain for your Marvel Legends shelf, this is a good bet for you. This is a really solid pickup for you. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this review. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are so inclined, please hit that notification bell so you know whenever I upload more reviews like this one, because we got to show that algorithm who's boss, right? And if you haven't already, hit me up on Instagram at Overlord Productions. But as always, keep the comments civil, because the world sucks enough as it is. And until next time, I'll catch you guys later.